Premier Brad Wall, as you will know, is leading a delegation of Saskatchewan people to Ireland as part of a recruiting trip. But the Premier is spending some time first in London at various meetings. And between meetings, we found Premier Wall in the UK this morning. Premier, thank you for taking our call.
Morning, John.
Can you walk me through what this itinerary looks like? Why are you in London now?
Well, we have some meetings with companies that are already invested in the province and considering larger investments in the province. I also have been invited to speak to the UK-Canadian Chamber of Commerce tomorrow at lunch, and I understand the tickets have gone well there. They want to hear the Saskatchewan story, and I want to tell it, so it's a happy coincidence. And we're also hosting a bit of a reception with the High Commissioner, who's former Premier Gordon Campbell, for companies that are kind of interested in knowing a little bit more about the Saskatchewan story. So we'll take care of that investment attraction piece here in London, and then we'll go to Ireland and join the job fair.
On the investment attraction aspect, is most of this in the mining sector?
Yes, most of it is in the mining sector. There's, of course, a continued great interest in potash, but also in uranium. And, you know, the deal that the Prime Minister signed with China to open up that market to our uranium, much as Australia has done for civilian use, of course, as we've talked about on your show, I think that's also piqued some interest on the part of other companies. So, you know, we know we have a good story to tell, a great thing going in Saskatchewan, but our government's view has been, since we were first elected in 2007, that we've got to stop being the tree that fell in the forest, so to speak. We've got to get out and tell that story and promote the province, and that's part of what we're doing here as well.
Premier Brad Wall speaking to the London Canadian Chamber of Commerce tomorrow, a number of business meetings. So outside of mining, are there other opportunities that you begin to see, for example, talking with the High Commissioner, Mr. Campbell, talking with Canadians who are now in London? Are there opportunities for Saskatchewan beyond mining?
There's increased interest, John, on the part of worldwide financial institutions. And it's not just Saskatchewan, it's Canada. Ours is a fairly unique story. The Canadian story economically is quite unique in a very positive way in terms of what's going on in the world. And then in Saskatchewan, where we're doing even comparatively better, fortunately, than for us, even than some other parts of our own country, the story is even more compelling. So it is financial institutions, it's the service sector, it's other areas that are interested in this story that is Canada and specifically Saskatchewan. Then
to Ireland, what are you expecting on that aspect of the trip?
Well, we want to be able to recruit many more of your, former countrymen. We'll put it that way, John.
Yes.
We have with us about 27 companies with 275 job offers in hand. Good jobs, and they range from healthcare to transportation. They cover a lot of sectors. Some, I was on the plane, of course, with some of the companies that are coming. Some have had experience with bringing in folks from around the world to work. And one particular agricultural dealer, I was talking to him, and they've had a good experience. Some have gone back in later years, but many stay, and it's worked well, and that's why they're coming on this particular mission. They've already been working to make contacts, so some are coming prepared to this job fair with contacts in hand, and we need to do whatever we can in terms of helping to deal with the labor shortage. There isn't an either-or between training more in our province, for example, working with First Nations to get them more engaged. There isn't an either-or between that and recruiting from around the world and the rest of Canada, because the shortage will be that acute. We think we'll need about 90,000 skilled workers in the next decade or so. So we need to be mindful that that all of these areas of labor supply are important to us, both homegrown and what's available overseas.
Immigration, last question, in more provincial control, are you able to provincially do more to get people here faster and at least with the right visas?
Yes, the answer is yes. We've had a very aggressive plan in this regard, John. We thought the numbers that we were doing in terms of immigration in Saskatchewan were really quite low. And so we've carved out that relationship we need with the federal government. And the numbers have increased very significantly in the last 4 years. We used to do, I think from the period of 01 to 06, we did about 10,000 in total. We'll do that this year alone. So it's a high priority for us.
Premier Wall, thank you for finding this time this morning, and we'll talk when you're back.
Thanks very much, John.
Premier Brad Wall in the UK, arriving in London. A series of meetings on today. He speaks to the UK Canadian Chamber of Commerce tomorrow noon luncheon, meeting with a number of companies, mining companies, investment groups, and others. And then he is on to Ireland for, and the Irish group actually left 2 days ago. They got to Ireland on Tuesday night, and there are a couple of major job fairs. But as the Premier mentioned, a number of the employers here have already been communicating with people in Ireland who have filed job applications and the like. So the Irish aspect is recruitment in construction, in the health professions, and in certain other service sector jobs. So that's what we know about the initiative that's going on this day.